Hi everyone, my name is Holly Bunce, and our group, we did the speech or language impairment project, so let's just dive right in. So first we started with some definitions. So our first definition is IDEA, a communication disorder such as stuttering, articulation impairment, a language impairment, or a voice impairment that affects a child's educational performance. Speech disorder, an impairment of the articulation of speech sounds, fluency, and/or voice. So articulation disorder, fluency disorder, or voice disorder are some examples of that. Language disorder, impaired comprehension and/or use of spoken, written, and other symbol systems. So some examples of that: the form, content, or function of language are just not there. So prevalence, about 2.3 to 24.8% of school-aged children are estimated to have a speech or language impairment. About 50% of 3 to 10-year-olds and about 25% of 11 to 17-year-olds are reported to have had speech sound problems. And the older a child gets, the less likely they are to have speech impairment. Usually they grow out of it or are able to overcome it. So some signs to look for in speech disorders are deletions of sounds, so certain sounds are omitted or deleted. Substitutions, one or more sounds are substituted, which could result in a loss of those sounds. Additions, one or more extra sounds are added or inserted into a word. Distortions, sounds are altered or changed. And syllable level errors, weak syllables are deleted. And an example of this would be like telephone. A child would say telephone, missing that L sound. So there is a thing called an IEP. This is an individualized education plan. So we found the criteria for the state of Idaho, and so these are just some of the things that they look for if they need to put someone on an IEP. So first they do an evaluation. There's two procedures, one that works with standard scores and one that is used to evaluate the expressive language. But for the standard score, 1.5 is the standard score on these deviation tests. The student's disability, does it affect their educational performance, is another thing they look into. And the student needs, does the student need specifically designed instruction, personally designed instruction to help them succeed in school? So some social considerations when looking out to see if someone has a speech impairment would be having a hard time carrying on a conversation is a sign they could show. Rejection from peers and other children, they might not be as accepted because they're looked at differently. Reluctant to interact with other children, they might be nervous or scared to go ahead and make friends and interact, and they also could be frightened to speak in social gatherings because this is something that could bring insecurities, or they don't know how to say what they want to say. So those are just some things to look out for. Some classroom signs would be difficulty organizing ideas, slow responding, withdrawn from interactions, less likely to raise their hand and speak in class and participate, difficulty finding the right words for things, difficulty carrying on a conversation, pronouncing sounds, recognizing these different sounds, and that kind of stuff. So some teaching strategies that we can implement in our classrooms to help is being a good speech model, just having good patterns and making sure that we are that example for our kids, using active listening, having good interactive communication in the classroom. We thought we could have a speech therapist come in and talk to everyone. It'd be a great learning opportunity for everyone in the class. We also talked about asking open-ended questions, incorporating vocabulary in the unit that's being taught, even if it's math or science or English. This could just help make that vocabulary. better. Being patient with students, don't rush the students in speaking, and just having an acceptance in the classroom, making sure all students feel comfortable, willing, and ready to learn. These are some helpful resources that we found. There's 3 websites. So the first one, it's a website that is helpful in finding speech therapists for children. It also is a great way for kids to be connected with one another. They have support groups for children and parents of children with speech disabilities, and so it's a great way to connect with other people. The second one is a website that is great for those who stutter. This is a very common disability, speech disability, and so it helps them find other children who stutter so they don't feel alone. It also gives great resources for helping give tools to help stuttering. This last one is ASHA. It's a variety of resources. Once again, just another website for speech help. So this website really focuses on early intervention. They really want to make sure that students get help as soon as possible, and that's kind of what they focus on. This is our last slide. It's just a final thought. We have a quote here, and it says, "Honor a child's behavior as her attempt to communicate in the only way she can at the moment. If she was able to use her words, she would." As teachers, parents, and speech-language pathologists, we need to remember that the children we are working with are trying their very best to use their words and communicate their thoughts and feelings with us. We will be able to learn a lot about a child as we begin to understand their actions as a way of showing their words. Lastly, these are just our websites that we use. This is just our Works Cited page. It has all the websites where we found our information. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed our project.